So here we go, my last update video on this pond, and that is because I am going to be taking it down. I'm going to be removing the fish and putting them in a new home. I've set up a tank for them at my house, so they've got somewhere to go, and yeah, just need to take all this bubble wrap off, take all the pond to bits. I'm also going to fill in the hole so that there's not just a big old link garden, and yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. Hopefully it'd be nice to see what all the fish actually look like. When I first cleaned it, you could see them. There was some nice fish in there, but since then it's been quite murky. So what we'll do is we'll get all this cleaned off, and then we'll have a go at catching fish and see what we can find in here. So there we go. I've took all that bubble wrap off. It will come off quite easy actually. In fact, I'm quite pleased it's all stayed there, to be honest. It's done a really good job, especially with all the weather we've had lately. But yeah, quite murky, can't see any movement under there, but also there's not been any dead fish come about, so I think we're good. It's just they're all down at the bottom being quiet and out of the way, so yeah, I think it's going to be a case of just have a feel around with net, see if we can catch a couple of fish and have a look, see what we catch. So I'll come back to you when I've decided what I'm going to do here. Right then, let's have a go at moving these fish. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to completely drain this pond with the petrol water pump. I'm going to turn all the filters off from that at the minute. Well, while it's draining, I'm going to try and catch the fish at the same time. Because as well, there's the pump that goes in there, and then there's a little strainer thing on it and whatever. I don't want them hiding around that stuff and hurting themselves, so I'm going to take all that stuff out and put my petrol pump in, start it draining, and then obviously the lower the water gets, the easier they're going to be to catch. And as we're catching them, I'll show you what the fish look like, and we can have a see what's in here finally. So let me get this set up and I'll get back to you. So there we go, I've set the little pump drain in the pond. I've got a tub full of water. It's disgusting. Actually, this water's quite disgusting. It's a lot worse than I expected. The bottom bit of the water are disgusting. Plus I've actually been finding quite a lot of things in here. So the lid for the filter that I've been looking for, it turns out it's in here. I have no idea how it got in here with the cover on, but it's in here. It came to the surface when I pulled this pump out, and there's also a cardboard box in there which I need to find in a bit. So yeah, it's actually a lot worse than I expected, but this is the kind of stuff you get when you can't see into the pond. It's quite annoying actually. Anyway, let's have a go, see what sort of fish we can catch, and we can have a look at them. So I wanted to show myself catching the fish and bringing them to the surface and whatever, and show them individually to camera, but it was not happening. As you can see with the difficulty I'm having catching a box, you know, it did not go to plan really. I caught a couple of fish this way when I was just sort of searching round, but because I can't see them, and every time the sort of net went in they just moved to the other side, it weren't happening, so I didn't end up catching many of the fish until I got a lot lower in the water. So rather than showing me catching them, I'm going to show you them going into their new home. And there were some really big fish which made it sort of difficult, but yeah, like I said, we'll look at them earlier. I just put them all in this blue tank and then walked them round, so I didn't have to mess about bagging them. Right, I think what we'll probably do is let it drain a bit more, and I'll probably catch all the fish and we'll have a look at it afterwards, because you know, I don't know how people steal fish from ponds, because I'll be there for weeks trying to get any of them out. So yeah, I'll drain it a bit more, I'll stop the video here, and we'll have a look at the fish later on when they're all going into the new tank, into the new home. Alright, see you in a bit. So there we go, we've drained the pond, that's all the fish, and I'll leave it up to you to guess in the comments of how many fish there actually is in there. Even I don't know at this point, I need to count them. It got a little bit chaotic towards the end, but there we go. That's the pond drained. There was quite a lot of muck in there actually. It was a lot worse than I expected, especially with cover over it. But yeah, so what I'm actually going to do is take all this fiberglass shell out, God knows what I'm actually going to do with it, and fill the hole in so it's level. But yeah, that's it. That's as drained as this pump can get it. And what I'm going to do is take all them fish back, so let's go and have a look at the fish. So here we are, this is the tank that they're going in. Nice little setup. So I've got the Nexus 220 on it, and I don't know, I think it's 750 gallon this tank, so it's not the world's biggest tank, but I think these fish will be quite happy in it. They're not in a that big tank as it is, and at least it's got some nice depth to it, quite even, good aeration, good filtration, all that. It's not had fish in it for quite a while, this tank, because it's not heated. It does have a heater there, you might notice, but it doesn't work. So I've just took all the fish out of here for winter, so it hasn't had fish in it ages, but I have kept it pumping. I left the pump on because I didn't want any other lines to freeze up or anything like that. But yeah, so it's ready for fish to go in. Obviously the bacteria has probably died in the filter because there were no fish in it, but I'm sure it'll quickly recover when they do go in. Plus it's 8 degrees anyway, so I'll not be feeding them much for a while. So the whole system will have chance to recover when everything picks up, when the weather warms up. So there we go, let's go and get the fish. Right, so here we go, all the fish are made it in one piece, only just. I'm going to put them in this blue tub so we can have a look at them all individually and get some sizes and stuff like that, and we can all see them, and then we'll find out how many there is. So last chance to guess how many there actually is, and then they're going into this tank here, which has got the Nexus on it, and there's no fish in here, so it's only going to be these fishes in. I'm probably going to, I don't know what I'm doing yet exactly. I'm going to probably leave it about 2 days, then I'm going to give them a good scrape and have a really good health check on them, and then I'll find out what I'm going to do with like treating them and stuff like that. Obviously I've treated them for fluke before, so I think the chances are, even if I don't find anything, they're probably going to get a formalin and malachite green, they're probably going to get fluke solve, and then they're probably going to get a high dose of salt. So that's just what I'm going to do anyway. Even if I don't find anything on microscope, that water that they were in were pretty gross, so I'm sort of concerned about bacterial issues and that, and especially with this pond, it's not had any fish in it for 6 months, so it's been running like this over winter because I didn't want it to freeze. But yeah, it's not had any fish in it for 6 months, so I'm slightly concerned about bacteria and stuff like that building up, so I will be treating it no matter what. Right, let's get in and have a look at what fish we've got. Right, I'm going to try and get through these fairly quickly, putting them in the tank, and I'll probably talk about them in voiceover. So this is fish number 1 going in the tank. So basically what I'm doing with all these fish is just giving them a little health check, just to make sure that they're alright and there's no immediate issues. It's 33 centimeters this fish, so not a bad sized fish. They're all pretty decent actually, size. And basically what I do is I'll just put my hands around the fish and let it swim through my hands, and make sure that it's not got any sewers or marks from being sat on the bottom or anything like that, and just check all the fins and make sure they're all happy and healthy, and then pop them back in. I try not to handle them for too long. So this is fish number 2. It is 23 centimeters. I'm not quite sure what it is exactly. It will probably born in this tank. So yeah, that's all I can say about that one really. Let's go on with the next. So this is fish number 3 going in. It's one of the biggest fish in this tank. It's quite a nice fish as well, I quite like it to be honest. It'd be lovely to know exactly how old these fish are. I wish there was some good way to age fish, but anyway. It's about 60 centimeters, so quite a big one. Here we are with fish number 4. If I were having a guess, I'd say this were one of the older ones actually. I don't know why, I just feel like it could be. This one's 50 centimeters, and again, quite a nice fish. Fish number 5 going in at 41 centimeters. So this fish has actually got a little bit of a bend in it. Interesting. I'd love to know what exactly causes bends in fish, but it literally could be anything from chemicals to electrical storms to malfunctioning pumps. So it is what it is. Next fish. Fish number 6 at 38 centimeters. So I quite like this fish. It is very white. For some reason I spent a little bit of time just staring at it. But yeah, I quite like that fish. It's quite nice. Fish number 7 at 43 centimeters. Number 8 at 35 centimeters, a quick fish. Number 9 at 43 centimeters. Now this is probably one of an older fish as well. It could look a bit older because it's got a lot of carp pox on it. Hopefully that goes as the weather warms up, but usually older fish don't have carp pox unless there's something wrong with them. But we'll see. But the water was particularly horrible, so maybe that set off a carp pox a little bit. Only time will tell. Number 10 at 35 centimeters. Number 11 at 45 centimeters. Number 12 at 37 centimeters. Number 13 at 56 centimeters, another big one. Number 14 at 60 centimeters. So while I had this one in the bowl, I sort of noticed that she was maybe starting with a little bit of dropsy. About 2 days later, she had noticeable dropsy going off with really pinecone scales. So a really heavy dose of the salt. And that literally a couple of days later she was perfect. Really heavy. So I put in 0.7% salt in the tank and it did the job spot on, and the fish has been alright ever since. Number 15 at 47 centimeters. So here we go, the last fish, number 16. So those of you that guessed there were 16 fish in this pond, well done, and a pat on the back to you. So number 16 is 57 centimeters. So quite a big one, quite a nice fish that one, I quite like it as well. But then again, I like all fish, so there we go. And there we go, that's the lot. That's 16 fishes. Let's have a look at them. There we go, 16 little fishes. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, they're a lot bigger than you think as well. Some big fish in there, 60 centimeters. I think the smallest was 23, something like that. So yeah, quite pleased with that. It doesn't look like it's 16, it must be hiding somewhere. But yeah, certainly stirred this tank up a bit, so that'll get next to something to do. I'll probably give it a quick clean tomorrow. Keep on top of cleaning them. But yeah, let's leave them, let them get settled into the new house, and we'll probably have a look at them tomorrow and see if they want any food later on or like that. I'll have to check what temperatures we're at exactly, because it is a bit warm day today, so it might have come up a little bit. So we go. See you in a bit. So there we go, that's the pond all filled in and done. No more pond here anymore. So that's it. That's the end of it. Just obviously not for me to do, but somebody will probably put some grass down or something like that here. It were actually quite a decent sized tank. I wish I'd have took a picture of the tank before it left, but I didn't. But yeah, it were about 12 foot by 8 foot and 4 foot deep, something like that. So it weren't the smallest tank in the world, it was quite decent. And I'm sure when it's repaired it'll enjoy being at its new home, because it did actually have a hole in the bottom. It looked like somebody at some point dropped it quite severely. So it had a big, about a foot square hole out of the bottom of it. There we go, that's what happened to that. Let's have a look at the fish. So the fish have been back here for about a month now. It's been quite a while since I actually took them out, and I haven't really socialised them yet. I've done anything with them. I've just sort of kept the lid on, not hassled them too much. In fact, I've not very often lifted the lid, but they're happy. I just keep chucking a bit of food in every now and then, sort of just leaving them to their own devices. They are not sociable fish at all. But having said that, they haven't seen people in 2 years, so I don't know what to do actually with that. But like I said, I ended up salting them quite heavily, because once I put them in here, the one did get quite a big beta drops it, and it is a lot better now. And the salt level has diminished with filter cleaning and stuff like that. I haven't yet treated them for anything. I've scraped one of them, but I haven't seen anything on it, and I haven't lifted the lid an awful lot, but I haven't noticed any jumping or flicking or anything like that when I'm being near the pan, because you can hear them do stuff like that. But yeah, they're doing pretty well, and I'm probably going to just treat them anyway, just to make sure that there's nothing on it or in the pond or anything like that. And I'll do another video on that and treat them for stuff. So yeah, the fish are happy, been eating little bits. Not eating yet as much as I'd expect. Don't know why, but I'm putting little bits of food in for them, and it seems to go eventually. But yeah, there we go. What they could do is, what I probably will do, is put them in a slightly bigger tank like this one, and put them in with some sociable fish, so they get used to coming to the top and get used to seeing people. These fish are fairly sociable and like to get the feed on. So there we go. That's how it all went, and that's what's happened with the fish. No more movement so far. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the videos on the neglected koi pond, and obviously this is the last one that will ever be on it, because there is no more. If you like this video, then please like it. If you want to see more videos like this and fishing related videos, then please feel free to subscribe. Any questions or comments, then please put them down below, and I shall see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Fry are doing great, but these really should have gone into that green tank that them 16 are in, but never mind. They will go into an outside tank shortly, and there will be videos on that shortly.